evening. Please stand for flag salute. Remain standing for a brief prayer. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bless us, Lord, as we gather today for this Freeholder meeting. Guide our minds and hearts so may we work together for the good of our community. Help us to be generous in our outlook, courageous in the face of difficulty, and wise in our decisions. Amen. Amen. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, this is to announce that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided. Also, pursuant to the 2019 bylaws, rules, and regulations of the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Burlington, time shall be set aside on the agenda for the receipt of public comments. Public comments will be received with respect to agenda items prior to board consideration of resolutions to be adopted. An additional opportunity for public comment will occur later in the meeting. Public comments shall be limited to 5 minutes per speaker. Unused time may not be transferred to another speaker. Persons may speak once per public comment period. I direct the Deputy Clerk to enter into the minutes of this meeting this public announcement and advance written notice of this meeting. Freeholder Hobson. Here. Freeholder O'Connell.
Here.
Freeholder Singh.
Here.
Freeholder Tiber.
Here.
Director Pulliam.
Here. This time I'll be looking for a motion for the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of March 13, 2019, and the conference meeting of March 13, 2019.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it. Now we move on to our recognitions for this evening. In honor of Women's History Month, the Freeholder Board would like to recognize women in the community, from farmers to the front lines. Now I will turn things over to Deputy Director Singh.
Thank you, Director. So as the Director mentioned, this is something we have, it's Women's History Month. Every month, every day, we are celebrating women in our lives, from our moms to our spouses and our children. But we want to take the occasion to recognize some of the professions within our communities. Farming community, which my family belongs to, and then public safety, the front line. And those are the two departments I'm liaison to. Resource conservation and parks, which involves a lot of the communications and working with the farming community, and the public safety. So just a little background knowledge. I was 14 when I moved to US, and before that I grew up in a village, with my mom being the strongest woman I know in my life and have the most influence. She dropped out of 5th grade, and both sides, mom and dad, we come from a family of farmers. So as a 10 years old, I was on the farm and a helping hand, and it's experiences that most people do not get in their lives. And thinking about my upbringing and what we have here, and in this month, I felt, what could I do within my departments to highlight the women and farming community. My mom, she was at that time not really a tractor. She was an ox boat, plowing the field. But it's just, thinking about that, the women, the work they do. We often look at the military overseas, as protectors, but I think we always say, you're as good as a fighter, as your belly's full. And the farming community itself has provided us the backbone of our country, and especially the women that we have in our lives. We're fortunate to have a lot of women in our agriculture department, especially on the advisory boards, and farmers all around. So I'm going to ask our women that are involved in the agriculture group and in the farming community to come up, and we're going to go through some recognition and say a few words about what they do. Yeah. So please come up.
Hi, my name is Gina Lounsbury. I'm a resident of Florence. My husband is a 4th and 5th generation farmer here in Burlington County. We grow hay and straw, wheat and rye, soybeans and corn. I'm also a member of New Jersey Farm Bureau, the Burlington County Board of Agriculture, and I'm Vice President of the Burlington County Board of Ag Women's Committee. And our committee is focused on educating the public, educating children about agriculture, promoting agriculture in Burlington County, and supporting our farmers.
By the way, your husband, Bob?
Yes.
So, funny story, I actually spoke with him a few days ago about some other matter, and he offered me a tractor for the tractor's permit.
Yes.
That I would actually be on a tractor and driving it.
Yes, you will.
Okay.
We have a charger.
We have a public commitment also. Thank you so much for being here. Would you like to please say a few words?
Sure. My name is Amy Zorn. I'm here from Hunter's Farm and Market in Cinnaminson. We've been farming in Cinnaminson in the Hunter family since 1760. We're a 120-acre vegetable farm that specializes in sweet corn and sweet potatoes. I am 8th generation to be born, raised, and working on the farm. I have 2 nephews and a niece who are 9th generation and will hopefully continue. My job on the farm is I own and run the seasonal farm market. We sell fresh fruits and vegetables from our fields and from some of my farmer friends, the best in New Jersey. I'm a member of New Jersey Farm Bureau. I'm a former member of the Burlington County Board of Agriculture, and I'm a current member and former chair of the Burlington County Board of Ag Women's Committee.
Thank you.
My name is Marilyn Russo. Our farm name is Orchard Lane Farm. You'll probably recognize the name because we originated here. My husband's grandfather came from Italy and decided to buy a farm. And it has blossomed to have 5-generation farmers now. But our farm is in Chesterfield. We have fruits and vegetables, farm market, pick your own, and we're open all the way from May to December. And I just wanted to let you know I was not a farmer's daughter. It is my husband's farm, but we're still farming it after 59 years of marriage. And I decided I was going to marry a farmer when I found out my father flew us all over as being in the service. So I know all about the armed forces too. And that. So I have belonged to the girls. I'm older than these young girls. I have served on many committees, the FSA in Burlington County. I've been on the state's Board of Agriculture. I have been on the Burlington counties, which we give a lot of time. I love to help the ladies out because we do a lot of work going into different schools and giving programs and that. So if you're interested or know anybody, please ask our organization to do that. So I think that's all. I did serve on Rutgers Board of Managers also. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shannon Higginbotham. I'm the owner and farmer of Cheyenne's Road Market. My daughter over there, she will be the 4th generation. We've been farming our family has been farming in Marlton for almost 100 years. So we're getting very close to the 100-year mark. We're very excited about that. We grow a lot of fruits, vegetables, herbs, flowers. We also do grain and field crops and hay. So we're very busy and parents of 2 beautiful girls. I am also on the Burlington County Board of Agriculture Women's Committee and a member of Farm Bureau and on the Farm Bureau Women's Leadership Committee.
Wow.
Hi, I'm Danielle Wainwright. I am the farmer and I guess co-owner with my husband of Clover Valley Farm. We are beef farmers here in Burlington County. We reside in Southampton. We sell our beef direct to the consumer. We are 4th generation farmers with our 9-month-old being our 4th generation. So I'm also on the Women's Committee for Burlington County. I am the treasurer, and I am on the New Jersey Farm Bureau's Leadership Committee with Shannon.
I am Danielle Kumpel. We are 5th generation farmers that farm under the name of Greenfield Farms. We're located in Southampton, New Jersey. I work with my in-laws throughout the season with their vegetables and their stand. Everything we grow, we sell locally or right at the market there. We farm approximately between 800 and 1,000 acres with my husband and my son. We do long straw, hay, corn and soybeans. I'm able to drive the majority of the equipment that is on our farm, as we don't have any hired help except for the 4 of us, or 5 when my son is there. I've served on the Burlington County Farm Bureau Women's Committee, on the Burlington County Board of Agriculture in the equine seat. I also have a horse-drawn carriage service where we use our horses for other events off the farm. That's everything.
Amazing. I must say, I mean, I know there are women farmers within the county. The depth of experience you have and all the crops, the grains to the flowers and vegetables, everything that you do is just amazing. And I know you had a recent fall, right?
Oh, yeah. Looking a little
Just stuff that happens at a farm, normal stuff,
yeah,
right?
normal things.
Yeah. Once I was a child, I got dragged with this plow. The tractor was running, and just someone got hooked in. But it was a rice paddy, so not going to get really hurt. It was just mud.
I learned a lesson. You don't say you can drive the tractor, because when it's a rainy day, you get wet. And when I ran over the broccoli, my husband said, "That's it." So
But thank you so much for being here. I do have a certificate. Let me see if I get the right one pulled. Now, I must apologize. I was not sure of all the individuals that were going to be coming. We are going to have an individualized certificate that we're going to provide to you. But as a generic one, I wanted to present just a recognition for your contributions to our thriving community. Having bellies full starts at home in our farming communities before we can do any of the other things that in our lives. So thank you so much. I'm going to present these to you as a group, and then we'll have individual ones issued later on. Okay? There you go. There you go.
Everyone ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. And one more. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
okay.
Another round of applause for the ladies. And next is, of course, our second important profession. I would say they're all important. I'm in education. The women that are on the front line that are from the public safety to the corrections to the prosecutor's office to sheriff's office, the women that including the 911 dispatch center. When we make a call in distress, whether it's a fire, EMS, or police emergency, it's the people that coordinate all of those services that come to us in a moment of need. So I'm going to ask a few of the women. By the way, before I move on, did I miss any of the other women that were in the farming community? Did everybody come up? Go ahead.
These are managers at my farm. They came on. So
Thank you. I know I'm going to miss somebody, but thank you so much for being here. So if I could ask the women that are involved with our public safety profession, I have few names, and again, if I miss the name, we will work and get the certificates afterwards also. Jennifer Dugan, I have. Diane, Jasmine, Jill, Giannini, and Patricia Colley, and Deborah Lenberger. Any other? Did I know sometimes it was a little difficult to coordinate, the people that would be able to make it on a Wednesday night. So thank you so much for being here. From your managing our facilities and the corrections to the public safety, a sheriff's officer, to the corrections, to the prosecutor's department, ensuring that we have safe communities, and of course working. I know you're one of the few. I know sheriff's department with the canine dog, right?
yes.
We have met several times over the past 3 years, and it's always exciting to see you with your partner.
Thank you.
So I'm going to ask them to say a few words of their contributions to our communities and in what role they play, and then we'll give them their recognition certificates. Okay? Thank you, everyone. Go ahead.
So, I am Jill Janini, and I don't like public speaking. So if anyone knows me, they already know this. Nico is my partner. I'm very fortunate that Sheriff Gene Stanfield selected me. We only have 4 canines in the Sheriff's Department to be the handler for Nico. Nico's an explosives detection dog, and he 2 years ago ranked 3rd in the country, and we were 20-something in the country this past year, and he's phenomenal at his job. We keep these buildings every morning safe, and we're on call 24/7 all over the county if there were to be any explosive devices or anything that they thought were. And we're on call, and we're thankful that we can serve our community in that way.
Thank you for doing that.
I'm Jennifer Dugan. I'm a supervising public safety telecommunicator. I'm a training supervisor as well. My responsibilities are training new operators, continuous training, as well as chief, I'm losing it, quality assurance and whatnot for the county dispatch.
My name is Lieutenant Patricia Hawley. I work at the Burlington County Jail. I am the operations lieutenant for administration. I basically set the schedules for the whole officers that are in the jail. I also am the coordinator for the HEADS program, which is our electronic monitoring program that we have. I've been working at the facility for 17 years now, and I just love what I do. I make sure that you guys stay safe on the outside, I guess.
Thank you.
Diane Jasmine. I started 23 years ago at the Sheriff's Department as an intern and was hired as a sheriff's officer and made it sergeant, lieutenant, chief, and now I'm under sheriff. So through that time, most of my time was spent in the fugitive unit, going out and arresting people who had warrants. And I handled training, hiring of people, whatever needs to be done in the Sheriff's Department.
Thank you.
My name's Deborah Leitenberger. I'm a lieutenant with the prosecutor's office. Unlike my counterpart here, I love to talk. So, public speaking, I got an A in, so I really enjoy that. But all jokes aside, in January it'll be 25 years I've been with the prosecutor's office. I retired from the United States Army as a chief warrant officer as a special agent with the Army CID, which is where I got my training. Was very fortunate enough to be hired by Steve Raymond way back. And probably my biggest accomplishment while I've been here, aside from investigations that I've been a part of, is in 2013, I was the first female to ever be promoted to lieutenant in the prosecutor's office.
Celebrations all around.
So I worked very hard for that, and so with that I'm very happy. And depending on what happens in January, I may turn the chapter and move on to something else in my life, but I may not. So time will tell. And I'd just like to thank Prosecutor Kafina for the nomination and for all the support of my family that is here today, and all of my friends from the prosecutor's office that are here as well.
These were in order, and then at some point I screwed these up.
Thank you. Check it. It's good. It's clean.
And of course,
Thank you.
so let's do a quick picture.
Sit. Thank you.
All right. There you go. Which way we're looking? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess we'll
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. And one more.
All right. Everyone, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, the freeholders, for giving us the opportunity to recognize the women around our lives and that support our communities. And I also want to thank you to Charlene, to Mary Pat, and our Public Safety Department, to Christine, for working for the past 3-4 weeks trying to put this together, to seek the nominations, to get the information, to organize this wonderful event. So thank you so much, everyone, for making it happen. Okay. Yep. Thank you, Director.
Okay, we still have some women to recognize. We're calling these women community champions in Burlington County for their role in going above and beyond for those in their community. Freeholder Hobson will be presenting them with certificates with Joyce Howe, Reba Foster, and Kristen Carty Babcock. Please come up front.
While the ladies are coming up, I just wanted to say this is an absolute, come on, open, join me, come on. Come on. This is an absolute pleasure to close out Women's History Month with acknowledged community champions in our community throughout the county. And I know a lot of the women up here probably don't want to speak, and that's fine. I'll just say a few words on their behalf. So these women work tirelessly in their everyday communities just to make sure that we are able to provide services, just to make sure that we are held accountable. They help with our homelessness initiatives. So I want to say on behalf of the Freeholder Board that we absolutely appreciate all of your hard work. Thank you for everything that you do. So this is Ms. Reba Foster. Yeah. Kristen Babcock. For all that you do. Did you want to say a few words?
I would like to, yes, I would like to say, Mrs. Hobson, thank you very much for telling me I was coming here for another reason. I had no idea that this was happening, but I am very appreciative of it, and will continue to do the work I do.
Thank you.
I love it, and I love seniors, and I love all of it.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone, for this wonderful acknowledgement. I am an advocate for homelessness and feeding the hungry, so please don't forget that there's a need on our streets of all of our cities for that. Thank you to our mayor, and Mayor Carlin, and our president of the council, Bob Young, and my friend Dawn Bass for coming out with me tonight. Thank you so much again to everyone.
Thank you. All right, well, hand clap for the ladies again, please. Thank you. Good? Okay. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, ladies.
Once again, on behalf of the Freeholder Board, we want to thank all the women that were recognized, as well as all the other unsung women out there that do things for the residents of Burlington County. Thank you. Okay, this time I'm going to open it up, public comments on agenda items. At this point in the meeting, public comment is limited to items on tonight's agenda. Anyone who wishes to speak on any other topic will have a chance at the public comments section later in the meeting. Please note that this is a public comment, your opportunity to provide us with input and feedback. This is not a question and answer forum. Each speaker may only come up once per public comment portion. Do we have any public comments on the agenda items at this time? Louis? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Carol Melvin, Springfield. J1. I have a few, but I'll go through. J1 first. What is it? Because wasn't this supposed to be done at the end of 2018? The reserve transfer? Isn't that normally done at the end of the fiscal year, 2018?
You know what?
Or is this just something that hung out?
Yeah, we're not on a fiscal year, I don't believe.
Oh, I thought you were January 1 through December 31 now.
I don't believe so.
Okay. J7. And my only comment on that is if the county can partner with the college for shared services, the county can partner with the college to find a positive solution to the Pemberton campus, and that would be fiscally responsible. I'll also add that, and it's a question actually, can the county partner with any entity with which it's in litigation? Because I was told that the county's in litigation with the college. It's the first I've heard of it. Is that true? No?
I'm sorry, you're asking about litigation with the college?
Yeah, somebody told me that the county's in litigation with the college. First I heard of it, no?
First I've heard of it from you.
Okay, then it's not, then it's false. That's what I wanted to know.
Don't believe everything here.
That's why I come to you to confirm. I don't believe it. J11. $163,756 for management services, but you won't save the pool. Fiscally responsible, I have to question it. J16. Senior Physical Activity Program, Office on Aging, $38,400. Senior activities are in the pool. J23, I believe, it was 22 before. Authorization to award contract for the Delaware River Heritage Trail, $5,388,000, $92.02. I'm assuming it's grant money. Is that grant money or is that coming out of the open space tax?
I believe it's grant money.
Because grant money also exists to save the Pemberton campus. Thank you.
Okay, do we have anybody else on the agenda item? Louis?
Reading from the kind of freeholder, I just want to say thank you to Maria and Tom for asking that question I had for a few days ago. I appreciate it. I got a question on clarify J1, 9, 21, and 23.
She's going to help you out. What was first?
1.
We just answered.
Yeah, if you have any more information.
We can get you more if you want.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay.
9.
Yes, that's furniture for one of the new facilities that we have for the prosecutor's office.
And 21 and 23.
We were donated a 2003 Ford Winnebago, which will be used in the outreach department for the sheriff's department. It's a free donation, by the way, there's no money.
Yeah. And did that turn 23?
Yeah, that's the same one again, it's the Heritage Trail.
Okay,
For the
thank
grant money.
you. Thank you, very appreciate it.
Okay. Okay, on the agenda.
No, not yet, Ben. Good evening, how you doing? Good to see you. Must say I'm impressed, Tom. Paul Bracy, you all know me anyhow. What I'd like to do is, just for brief explanation, which I find interesting, concerning J5, could you please share that with me? The purpose of the program. I'm aware of the program, but I would like you to share it with the audience and how you're providing opportunities for youth I used to teach, one I was talking to in the hallway tonight. And in regard to J6 as well, so if you could share for the general public what both programs entail and the partnership you have with Burlington County Special Services,
Yes.
students that end up working through OTC.
Yeah, and what I believe this is, and I can ask, but what we're doing is we're taking folks from the OTC program.
Absolutely.
And putting them over into the Burlington County Library as attendants and working in the library.
It's a brilliant program. And actually, you're not touching yourself on the shoulder. You should do it maybe 2 or 3 times. You've been doing it for at least the last 15 years using Burlington County facilities. And what you've really done is provide hope and opportunity for a handicap-based population that I devoted a significant portion of my life showing ways as well that they can be accepted as real human beings making real money. And the coolest thing is, talking to one of the young men tonight, the pride in his face that this lady could so share is well worth it. But more importantly, he's living in a group home and he's independent. So that's what this county can do. And later on tonight, you're certainly going to have a wonderful opportunity to show you can do, because I know you will. I also want to address J14. What I'm seriously interested in knowing is the process that you entail as you send out information in regard to securing such services.
Most of them are done by writing grants.
Okay, and who's your grant writer?
Well, we have several.
Are they here tonight?
I don't believe so.
Here's what I'd like to humbly suggest.
Sure.
Because of the nature of the concern and the reality of it, I think the public should be entitled to more information from the grant writer, specifically, who are they applying to, what is the nature of the grant, and more importantly, are there any political connotations or connected between grants that are provided? And as you and I both know, that has happened in Burlington County in the past. You understand my point of view?
Yeah, definitely. Most of the grant writing, however, take for instance, health department.
Correct.
Most of those grants are written at either the state or federal level.
Doesn't the county have to apply for funding through the grants that are established on the state and federal level?
We write the grant to ask for the funds.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you would certainly want those that are well schooled with the disciplines that you're applying for grant money, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Thank you. I'm glad that this is a matter of public record. I also would like to talk about J17 because there's a real issue with youth at risk. And again, my whole life has been dedicated to showing other ways with a high rate of success. So what's important for me to understand about that is this a crisis intervention program? Is it something like GINS used to have? And is the contract through Twin Oaks? Where's the contract coming from? Pardon me?
March 31st, it's over.
I still want to hear about it, man. Because we would hope other such type programs available. Could someone please explain that to me?
I'm sorry, Holly, do you know anything about that
This is
one?
human services. Charlotte, is Charlotte here?
Charlotte?
Where's Charlotte? Charlotte, could you please talk to me about that program? Because I think it's a really good program. And where's it coming from? Pardon me? Is that through us? I'm sorry, can I speak directly? I'm sorry, you're going to speak to them so I can hear it? I'm showing you my backslide, so I apologize in advance.
Mr. Bracy, your time's up.
I'm asking questions, sir.
Hey, Mr. Bracy, Mr. Bracy. Let's do
I'm
this.
sure that she can speak to you after the meeting.
Oh, I'm sorry. She can't speak to the general public now, sir?
Let her have a conversation with you one-on-one. She'll give you the information,
I'm just listening to you.
okay? I don't want to, hey, Mr. Bracy.
I'm sorry, I don't want to be rude to this lady,
I know.
so I'm going to stand to the side.
Okay.
The 5 minutes is
She
up.
can't answer the question, sir?
Sir, she can certainly answer.
Then let her answer the question.
Excuse me.
Sir,
Please sit down.
just have a seat. Your time's up, okay?
Thank you.
Do I have anybody else?
Sarah Holly, Willingboro. I'd like to speak to J25. And my question is, when you get to J25, can you be specific in explaining exactly what is meant, what you intend to do with the bridge feasibility study? So if you can have that explanation
I can.
in depth.
Well, there's depth of I can give you, but I'll tell you what's going on. Before we came on the board, there was already a proposal out there, as you know, as to what was suggested that the bridge be constructed as, okay? It's our understanding right now that to move forward with any kind of bridge, whether it's that or another one, we have to do this study, okay? Which includes a walking track, okay, and bike. But the feasibility study that's being done is to include any kind of bridge, okay? So I don't want you to think as if the study's being done and it pigeonholes what the option is, okay? For us to get funds, et cetera, no matter what we do, we have to do this study.
So that I'm clear on what you're saying, are you saying that you're moving forward with a walking path and a bike path, or you're just doing a study to see how
No.
feasible it will be?
Right. According to our engineer, the last time that I spoke with him, the state requirements for any bridges that are being built brand new have to incorporate bike and pedestrian walkways. So they have to be a part of the component of the bridge being reconstructed.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Did I do that right, Joe?
Yes, sir.
Anybody else on the agenda items? Okay, seeing none, I'll close this portion of public comment. We'll move on to the resolutions. I would like to ask the Freeholder Board to adopt J1 through J.
Just J1 by itself, roll by itself.
J1. Roll call.
Freeholder Hobson.
Yes.
Freeholder O'Connell.
Aye.
Freeholder Singh.
Yes.
Freeholder Tiver.
Yes.
Director Polian.
Yes. J2. Roll call.
Freeholder Hobson.
Yes.
Freeholder O'Connell.
Yes.
Freeholder Singh.
Yes.
Freeholder Tiver.
Yes.
Director Polian.
Yes. Okay, now I'll ask for J3 through J24 by unanimous consent.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Freeholder Singh?
Thank you, Director. I'd like to move item J25.
So moved.
Second.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Freeholder Hobson.
Thank you, Director. I'd like to move with unanimous consent J26 and J27.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, at this point in time, I'll be making freeholder appointments to the Burlington County Planning Board. Appointment of Freeholder O'Connell and Freeholder Hobson as an alternate. I'll also be making nominations for the election of 2 board members to the Burlington County Planning Board. I nominate Jay Nelson Weist and Mike Trainer. Are there any other nominations? Roll call, please.
Freeholder Hobson. Yes. Freeholder O'Connell.
Yes.
Freeholder Singh.
Names is read.
Freeholder Tiver.
Names is read.
Director Pulliam.
Yes. This time, any questions from the press? Okay, at this time, now we'll move on to public comment on non-agenda items. Once again, I would like to note that this is public comment, for your opportunity to provide us with input and feedback. It's not a question and answer forum. Additionally, each speaker may only come up once per public comment portion. I'll entertain anybody that wants to talk on anything.
Mayor Wills.
Good. Hold on, hey, Mr. Bracy, hold on.
I'm sorry.
I got Mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Craig Wilkie. I'm the mayor of Florence Township. Last week, I had an email sent over to you concerning sewer and how it's being handled with Mansfield, and particularly for Burlington Columbus Road. I just asked for the freeholders to give guidance in not supporting this until Florence Columbus Road and Route 130 intersection has been completed. That doesn't mean design, that means completed. We continue to have an issue going on. You probably already received a response from Mansfield Township like I did, which was not the response I had hoped for. We have been in partnership working together, 4 or 5 communities for, I've been mayor almost into my 8th year now, and you know, you all work together. And we had been trying to work together. We were surprised when the Margolis property received sewer. We denied it. We were overruled by DEP. I met with them and I had assurances from Margolis that no more sewer could go down that way, and I was fine. I also understand that now the other developers in the area are trying to pursue that, and Mansfield's encouraging it. They got to do it in your road because they're going through Florence Township, and Florence Township won't let them, so they go through your road, and then I end up with the issue. We can deal with that policy at another time. My issue is traffic at Route 130 in Florence Columbus. They point out that 80% of the traffic is going to be using 295. That means 20% of the traffic is going someplace else. Hello, Turnpike Bridge, most likely coming towards us. We also know that it's a regional issue. We are one of the main areas to get to the military areas as well as the business areas in Burlington. So I just ask for your support. If you ever have any questions, I realize it's not a question and answer period. Just be advised we are available and willing to assist. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
Just want to say, Mayor's my former boss from a decade ago.
Agnes Marcel, Chesterfield. Just want to, I don't know if you guys are aware, with the construction of Master Rail that has started, they're running into a lot of sinkholes. And they're having to do repairs. They're using metal plates on Fisher Road and 539. And I know they're not our roads, but I think this is one of the reasons that we decided that, you know, whoa, we're going to put the brakes on this a little bit, because, you know, the nature of the roads are such that they might not stand up to this kind of construction and opening. So I talked, I know that the national government, Department of Transportation, is supposed to be in charge of pipeline safety. I called them. They told me that, you know, that goes to the states. I called the state. They said it's a county road. It goes to the county. I called the county engineer. He doesn't know anything about it. He calls it the pipeline company's facility. So it's up to them to test the wells even after there's been a road opening, like a collapse, like a sinkhole. So to them to test the wells, and he has no way of checking, like he doesn't get a report, he says. So I hope, you know, you guys are addressing those issues in the bookbinder case. And again, I don't know what's going on with that thing. I don't know if, you know, you guys are getting up to speed, if you've been meeting with the other townships, or what, but I hope you are. And I hope you keep, you know, fighting for the county and what's right for the county, for the people of this county, not for NJNG. And you know, that it's just really, I commend you on that. And I also want you to consider again changing the chair, changing Sean Erlin and getting him out of there. I know you think that there's some kind of risk involved with that, with him suing us, but I think if you do a risk assessment about whether it's more risky to have him in there, pushing these things through to our detriment, than the risk of him maybe suing us because we didn't sue it, we didn't release him for cause, which I don't see how that's an issue. His cause is he doesn't do his job that he was appointed to do. So, I mean, I don't know the legalese. I know you might, and I hope to God you're getting up to speed on that and that you can give us an answer as to why we have to wait till 2020 to get him out of there. Because it seems to me that what will happen is, you know, 2 days before his term is due to be up, he'll be reappointed again through some fluke. I don't know. It seems Chris Christie will never die in this state. So I hope, God, you guys can help dig that grave and not the pipeline. Thank you.
Just to give you a little an update, just so you know.
Sure.
Last week, I sent a letter as a freeholder director to the BPU, telling them that, as they're aware, we're not happy with the route and asking them to reconsider. And I also followed that up with a personal letter to the governor, asking him to make sure that any appointees to the Pinelands Commission were individuals who supported the charter of the
Thank you so much, Dr. Boyd.
Good point.
Appreciate that.
Good evening, Dawn Sheridan. So I said I was going to come to this meeting after last night and not give you guys a hard time because I have to tell you that sitting up here, it's a breath of fresh air to see this board. And last night, thank you, Mr. O'Connell, for coming to that program with my dog to the reading program. It's nice to see you guys more active with us as residents. You know, I implore all of you, if he has a birthday celebration coming up, feel free to come. But
We heard about it.
Yes. So, you know, there are a lot of residents, and that's what I was telling Mr. O'Connell, that it's not just me, there's other residents that, you know, do a lot of stuff behind the scenes that you guys don't see that is volunteer. Like, because what I do with my dog, it's all volunteer. And I talked to him about some other programs I want to see happen. So I do appreciate, like, you guys, you know, and it was nice when he emailed me back and said, I will be there, and I have to admit, I was like, maybe we'll see. And then when he showed up, I was like, ah, okay, you know, finally. So again, you know, I don't always agree with what you guys do out here, and I know I give you guys a hard time, but, you know, I do appreciate it, and it is nice to see you guys, you know, taking it active because it's been a long time. You know, I felt like the other boards were just, you know, not for, you know, like they're up there doing their own agenda, and if it, you know, especially during politics, that's when we see them, but it's nice to see you guys out, you know, for things that we need. So again, thank you, and I hope to see you guys in more events.
Good evening. My name is Ryan Greco with Pinelands Preservation Alliance. As you know, freeholders, and as Agnes said, New Jersey Natural Gas began construction of the SRL pipeline in December. This is a 30-inch diameter high-pressure pipeline in Ocean County so far. The construction began despite at least 9 lawsuits that have been filed against the project, and despite the fact that New Jersey Natural Gas had not obtained approvals for the entire length of the pipeline, namely, Burlington County had not issued a road permit for pipeline construction. That same month, in December, this freeholder board voted to open the door for that permit to be issued, despite a clear conflict of interest of 2 of the freeholders at the time. January brought a different composition to the board, and Director Pulling, you stated in January the opposition to the SRL. However, recent papers filed by Burlington County have struck a different tone. Instead of stating the facts, which are that this pipeline is not needed, this pipeline will not be associated with the function of the joint base through which it runs, and this pipeline fails to demonstrate its safety to threatened and endangered plants and wildlife, its safety to our drinking water supply, and the safety to the residents of Burlington County. Instead, Burlington County is sounding more like New Jersey Natural Gas, making the case for the SRL to expand into Burlington County. This Freeholder Board must stand up for the residents of this county, not bow to the utility. Tonight I urge you to stand up to the pressure of the utility and agencies who would build an unneeded, unsafe, expensive, illegal pipeline through the Pinelands and through Burlington County. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Carrie Douglas. I'm from East Hampton, and I just wanted to revisit the pool at Pemberton campus. I know that the RTBC trustees are the ones who are making the decisions, but I also know that you guys appoint the trustees, which gives the impression that the trustees may actually be holding this property in trust for Burlington County residents who built the property with taxpayer money. I'm not seeing that the taxpayers are going to get anything back out of the sale or the closure of this pool. We're actually being stripped of educational resources, recreational resources, and competition resources. And I know the pool, or the RTBC, would like to pocket all of the profit if they do manage to sell the property. So I just hope that you can help look out for us who have been using that pool for many years and who, in many cases, such as my own, have nowhere else to go should that pool close the resources. So I hope you can either follow Mr. Tyler's suggestion of having a pool advisory panel put up to see what we can do to reach some sort of an agreement, or perhaps work on the suggestion that was brought forward last meeting for the Friends of the Pool to try and perhaps create a county park out of part of that and sell off the rest of it. But I hope we can do something to keep the pool open because it is a vital resource for the area, and for many people, there's just nothing to replace it if it should go. So thank you very much.
Carol Melman, Springfield Township, back for the pool again. I hand-delivered to each of you a proposal to save the pool that would be cost-effective. Have you read it? It's been 2 weeks. Has anyone looked at it?
I looked at it.
All right, because no one reached out to me with any questions, so I have to assume that it's an excellent proposal and should be the blueprint that everyone follows, because no one's pointed out any flaws in it. Anyway, the college still does not know how much it will cost to run a shuttered campus. That's a problem. I asked 2.5 weeks ago for those numbers. They have not gotten back to me. Do you have a cost analysis to prove that the Pemberton campus is losing $580,000 a year? That analysis should include all expenses and income. And I would like to see it because obviously you're using that analysis to say shut the pool. Why should the taxpayers have to subsidize a facility that is of no use to them? Giving the college any money in the upcoming budget subsidizes shuttering the campus. You certainly shouldn't allocate any funds to them without a solid estimate as to cost to run a shuttered campus. Additionally, how many years is the county willing to wait while the Pemberton campus sits idle and empty and then becomes a problem to Pemberton Township that will have to eat the cost for fire and police? And I don't believe they're going to be getting any tax money to pay for additional fire and police when people start breaking into the buildings. Additionally, what's your plan, you the freeholders, plan for the high school swim teams? Where in Burlington County will they hold their meets? As you were also concerned for the safety of our high schoolers to the tune of $20 million, I have to assume that you still care about them. Of course, since you don't care about the folks that come to express concerns about the county, especially the pool, the cynical part of me suspects that you don't care about them. I'd like you to prove me wrong. Last week, the Air Force wanted to rent the Burlington County pool in Pemberton for 40 cadets for training. Last night I spoke with a state police officer who wants to train at the pool since it's physically close to his residence. The pool continues to draw from various, and I might add, important to our community segments of our society. 2 weeks, okay, so ultimately, the county taxpayers will be on the financial hook for what happens to the Pemberton campus, as no developers are interested in the campus. It is a white elephant. Our plan, saving the pool, is the best plan that I've seen forward. And I've also talked to Mark Thomas with Frank Hokus Institute and Carlton Montgomery. We've all been sharing the plan. We are trying to come together as a team to come up with the best solution for the taxpayers. I don't want to come back here in a few years when there is no pool and the county is bonding money to tear down the buildings on the campus because no one wants to buy the property and do the demo. So here's my solution. On March 13th, you claim to be fiscally responsible to the taxpayers. Since we have been unable to convince you through the facts of the need and fiscal viability of the pool, please convince us that you are indeed fiscally responsible. Prove it by doing this. Make and pass a resolution that Burlington County will not fund or bond the demolition of any structures on the Pemberton campus ever. Let the college pay for it since their actions are sticking it to the taxpayer. Thank you.
Good evening. Paul Bracy. I need to begin by saying you guys are getting beat up for things that aren't really, you're not really responsible for. It was a process over 25 to 30 years. I personally understand what freeholders really do because I benefited from it. My family are pioneers in Burlington County. And how did I benefit? My mom, who at the time was finishing a degree at the University of Pennsylvania School of Nursing, and had to deal with the reality that she was very Catholic and came from her husband was a well-protected Catholic family, and there were issues of serious abuse that kind of went on behind closed doors. But when Burlington County became my savior was from three and a half to 5, I became a ward of court of the state of Pennsylvania, was at St. Vincent's Orphanage in Philadelphia. As my mom was working full-time, Philadelphia General Hospital, where she got her first degree in nursing, and at night finishing her degree at the University of Pennsylvania. So, during that time frame, I had a solace. Too often today, which is why I've been a homeless advocate for over 30 years, homeless folks don't have the luxury I had in that I had a place to stay, even though I had to deal with the reality of being abused. When coming from a situation where my natural father abused me as well. So the long and short of it is, her saving grace was what county freeholders do. They serve the will of the people. They serve the people of Burlington County. My mom was lucky, because that was real. She was offered a job as director of nursing at Buttonwood Hall, which was a prestigious, well, became under her leadership, a prestigious psychiatric hospital. Not only in Burlington County, but the state of New Jersey. And frankly, because what she did when she completed her master's degree at the University of Pennsylvania became, in terms of shaping behaviors with the seriously disturbed psychiatric patients. Actually, that was a self-study that she used for it. So I understand the value of what a county freeholder can do. I have given back to Burlington County for the opportunity that was provided to me at age 5. But you got to realize, and you understand, as some of you folks see me, there's some strange behaviors with this person. Now, if you consider how important the first 5 years of your life are, you understand what it is. So what I did is I devoted my life to giving back, with the same base population like me, nonetheless, in Burlington County. But what I did is I learned from what my mother was able to show me and did it my way. But worked with the most difficult youth, many of which have issues of alcoholism, drug addiction, behavioral disorders. And what I'm presenting tonight is an opportunity for the County of Burlington freeholders to once again prove what I know you can do, but you haven't done. You haven't done because it became not people, it became party. I've listened, I know all you folks, and you know me. You know what's happening in Burlington City across from Burlington City High School and that part of the neighborhood, don't you? You know what the drug-related and gang-related issues are, don't you? Because you taught there. I grew up there. You, Tom, know why Edgewater Park folks don't want their kids to go to Burlington City. Because of the drug issues and some of the stuff that happens at City High School. And this gentleman will tell you that city teachers do a righteous job, but it does feel like a prison, doesn't it, Blavier?
No, it does not.
City kids coming across the street? It does to me, because I grew up there.
I graduated from that district.
It wasn't there when I grew up. And the truth is, if you consider, and I want to take this is the opportunity you have tonight. You take youth from that part of Burlington, Stone Villa, and Stacy Port, many of which are black, many of which are deprived, many of which have to deal with the real issues of gang-related behavior, as you know. And they have to come to Captain James Lawrence Middle School, Burlington City High School, and go through security like they're in a junior prison. Please, I'm asking for a time extension because I've been in contact with Andy Kim and others.
There's a 5-minute rule. Thank you, sir.
I'm asking for the Freeholder board to extend me a time extension.
There's a 5-minute.
Are you a Freeholder, sir?
I represent the Freeholders.
Yes, you do.
You don't have to yell.
There's others that need to speak as well. Please take your
You know what? You know what, Nathan? I'm surprised. We got Democrats controlling this thing. I got more respect from the Republicans when I showed real passion over real concerns, sir. You need to check yourself. I'll have this conversation with you after the meeting. Thank you, sir. And thank you.
Michael Tan, Southampton Township. The last meeting I mentioned about a legal notice in the paper last December that the college was selling the greenhouse, a metal building which housed all their equipment for outdoors, and selling all their equipment. And the thing about that caught my attention, this was an auction that they would take any bid. Now, when somebody puts something up for sale, they're going to take any bid, no minimum on something. They either have a financial problem or something is wrong someplace. But that's one thing. The college property, I've walked that. 1960, for 10 years maybe. I know that property like the back of my hand. It's a beautiful piece of property along the Rancocas there. And it was farmed by the county for over 150 years. The county took that property over in 1799, I think it is. And they built the Alms House in 1801, which was across the road. And then when that burnt down in 37 or 38, they built Buntwood Hall, which is there today at Aspen Hills. But that was all farmed because people from the Alms House worked the farms. And then come 1955 or 56, when state laws come along, and they couldn't have them work on the fields anymore. And the farming went. And then they leased out the property for farming. I feel that that's an old property. It's historic, basically, for the county. The county doesn't have many old properties anymore, except Mount Holly Complex here that I know of. And I think you got to take that into consideration. The other thing is, you have to start thinking outside the box of what to do with it. The county, as freeholders, the college may supposedly own it. The county, as freeholders, have a vested interest in that property and that facility. A lot of money was poured into it, besides the bonding, because I worked across the road. I know. I worked across the road from 62 for 10, 15 years. And I was over that property when they were building that institution on. It's a great facility, it turned out. And a lot of good education came out of it. but I'd like the freeholders to start thinking about it. I feel that if you run the numbers, the present numbers of what their costs now and what they're using. Now, even if they're using ball fields, that's a dollar figure that has to be put down. Because if they use ball fields someplace else, it'll cost them money. So when you calculate these figures, put them together. What is the college using in the buildings? Find out. How much are they using? What are the revenues? What are the costs? And start looking at it that way. It's a great facility over there. They had to come up with money to build the East Campus because the main campus wasn't going to be finished in time for the students that were enrolled at the time, back in 63, I think, was it 62, with it. But I'd like the freeholders to take a hard look at that facility. It's a beautiful property. One of the nicest properties around along that creek when you walk it. And it's got a lot of history to it too. And it should be saved. It should be turned into a commercial facility with it. And I think the freeholders, if they start thinking outside the box, I think you've come up with something that you could balance it and you could hold on to it. And the other thing is, maybe there is a there might be a clause in the papers originally from 1962. They should be reviewed because a reversion clause. There might be a reversion clause in there. But I think the county has a big vested interest in that property, and maybe the college has it by name only over the years. Please look into it.
Freeholder Burlington County. By the end of the meeting, I would like to get a request with the next Burlington County Bridge Commission meeting. What's the next meeting? If you could notify when that and what time. The next meeting to a Burlington County Bridge Commission.
If we give any other link to the website, we could do that again after the meeting.
Okay, and also more information on J1, complete information on J1. I would appreciate it. And my second question is, any new cases of K-12 synthetic drugs in Burlington County? Through any new cases, old cases?
For what?
K-12 synthetic drugs? Oh, you never heard what K-12 is?
I think it's K2.
Oh, K2, my mistake. Is there any report of anything in Burlington County?
Not that I'm aware of. I haven't been given any.
It's a really, really bad one. What I heard is if they approve when I'm legal, it would fix that K2 problem. That's what I know. Second question is one thing to all my viewers, and one thing to Kate Liz, who view my viewer. I appreciate it for her. And any update project to a 541 project?
The only thing I know right now is they're still doing the approval-free bridge authority. So, I mean, as far as the Route 541 program in Mount Holly.
Yeah,
projects.
next Holly project.
No, just the feasibility studies, yeah.
And a question is, one, you have a meeting for the Roman College in this building, have two meetings, or two different, whole club of people could come and ask questions for both parties, to the freeholder meeting and to the Roman College about their school, about the college in the pool. And one last question is, I think to the the program for the homeless shelter, I think 24/7, I think it started in June, right?
You mean the funds for the homeless?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're supposed to kick in around June, correct?
Oh, I'd like to see that, more of that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Good evening, freeholders. My name is Pierre Ford. I'm a Democratic Committee
representative for District 7. I don't know too much about the costs and stuff of the pool. I'll give you the personal things that will be appreciated for the use of the pool. My kids have been going to that pool for the last 2 or 3 years. It's easy access for the kids to be able to use the pool over at Pemberton. I don't know the situation with the lawsuit. I guess there's a lawsuit with the county or something, with the pool or something. I read that a long time ago. Anyway, not only is the pool going to be taken away, but you have the facilities over there, the basketball courts, the weight room, the baseball field, basketball, whatever fields there are. Please take a look at that and try to see if you can keep that whole area up. Not only it's my kids, but you're gonna have a whole bunch of other kids as well as senior citizens who do utilize that pool for the usage of RAs and arthritis and stuff like that. So if you could be able to just take a look at that. I don't know what the costs are as far as trying to repair the pool. I'm sure that it could be repaired at a reasonable cost, but we need to start thinking about our kids and our senior citizens in our county. You know, one of the biggest things that I see is that we all complain about our kids doing wrong, but we don't have nothing for them to do. You know, we don't have no facilities during the summertime for these kids. You take away one of these, you can possibly take away other facilities. So please take a look at it and see if we can try to save this pool and the facilities there for not only the kids, but also for the senior citizens as well. Thank you very much.
Again, Craig Wilkie. I'm here actually now to defend Burlington City. I spent 12 years there as a school business administrator. I can tell you across the board, I'd also defend Burlington City because they're colleagues of ours. It's a safe school, it's an excellent school district, and you'd have every one of your children, because my children did go there. I sent them, paid for them to go there. It's a good school district, and no one should ever take shots at any other school district. It's a good school.
Really?
Thank you.
I gotta react to that. I'm sorry.
Have a good night, folks.
That was a personal attack. I know who the guy is. I'm gonna react to that.
First,
Sir, your time is up.
We're here for you after the meeting, Mr. President. You know
I do need to speak with you after the meeting.
No problem. Thank you.
Relax.
Anybody else?
If you can't relax, sir, I'm gonna have to ask you.
Okay.
Jane Franz, Burlington City. As I understand it, there is no air quality monitoring being done by the county. And I would like to suggest that would be very important to us. In Bordentown, we are being squeezed between a compressor and the proposal of the Alcon site across the river in Falls Township. We're also getting fumes from the various dumps across the river. And it's my hope that in this day and age, we should be monitoring air quality to provide safety, hoping to provide safety for our children and all of us. So please see what you can do about that. Thank you.
Good evening, Patty Caruso, Upper Freehold. As a psychologist, I feel it's important to focus on the positive, so thank you so much for working with us, listening to our concerns. I would like to just talk about the SRL pipeline again for a few minutes. We're hoping that some of you do go to see the route, because I think unless you see it in person, it's really hard to visualize that this 30-inch pipe would go along a 28-mile route. It's also a little it's also more difficult to realize, but when you would have this atrocity going in front of your house, it's beyond frightening. I know that we're all concerned about protecting the safety of children. They are our future. I work with children every day as a school psychologist. I have 3 children of my own. I know that some of you are parents as well. They are our greatest resource. We have to protect the children. We went to People Over Pipelines and a number of other people went a few weeks ago to Empower New Jersey in Burlington. And Jeff Tittle spoke from the Sierra Club, indicating that there are, I think it was 13 new fossil fuel projects being proposed right now for the state of New Jersey. And it really is frightening to hear, because it will damage our air quality and our water. And it just is surreal to me that we're even considering allowing this pipeline to go through part of the Pinelands, which provides so many trillions of gallons of water to New Jerseyans. And I know this project has so many tentacles involved. And I know it's frustrating when people keep coming to talk about it, and it's a very complex issue. But I'm really hoping that you will continue the fight and do what has to be done to stop this. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, at this time, I'll close public comment. At this time, we have comments by freeholders. Nathan.
Thank you, Director. First off, I'd like to thank all the women that were recognized for tonight. Some of whom I think are still around. Ms. Foster, I see you back there, so there. Congratulations. And second off, I want to talk about the pool again. Last meeting, I asked for a motion to form an advisory committee. We were supposed to talk about that. 2 weeks have gone by, nothing's been talked about, so I guess it's not going to happen. So I would like to, I guess, try to, Carol, if you're still here, or anybody from the pool, maybe sit down and talk about what we can do going forward, because it's August 15th is coming real soon. So we got to try to, 1, save the pool, and 2, see if we can find a way to make the campus viable. 1, that will help the county, and 2, we can help the township of Pemberton. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight, and congratulations to all the women and supporters that were recognized, and obviously, millions of others unsung heroes that we were not able to recognize, but we know that we do value the county's part of its tradition of recognizing the women leadership within our county. Let's see, past few weeks I've been busy on little things here and there. One of the days, Director Polly and I visited Willingboro Fire Station for their Red Cross initiative, going around testing smoke detectors and installing new ones. We're working on an agreement with the Pineland Preservation Alliance on a canoe and kayak launch, an event for the communities on Over Creek. Still working on with the different department heads on Complete Streets initiative, and some of the things we identified is, we have to take some other measures before we get to a sound policy in terms of bicycle and pedestrian safety throughout the county. So I'm busy working on that. I do want to recognize or congratulate and say thanks to the staff here within the department who helped us find the nominations for the women around the county and really facilitate the whole event so they could be coming here on time and be recognized. This week I also had the opportunity to visit the State House. Senate President Sweeney had shown great leadership last year when they passed a resolution in both houses and signed by the governor recognizing April as a Sikh Awareness Month, as a practicing Sikh. I wanted to go back along with some of the other leaders of the faith community We had a meet and greet at the house. It went really well. We have a lot of senators and assembly people, including Attorney General Grewal and Education Commissioner Pellet came by. So that was a good event. And I know some, Burlington City, Jean mentioned, so I read in the newspaper recently that the Falls Township Planning Board denied the application.
That's only one step.
Only one step.
You don't get to say no.
Right. So there was some movement. I know our commissioner there, John Bradowski, has been very active in that, and he was able to attend their meeting. So I look forward to checking with him on the progress. I know the Freeholder, this board has, and along with a lot of municipalities, along with the river towns, has expressed our position to the Pennsylvania DEP and the local communities, and will continue to do so. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to stop right here. Thank you everyone for coming by. Thank you, Director. Back to you.
Thank you, Director. Thank you everyone for coming. I appreciate everyone. I'd like to congratulate all the women that we acknowledge in the effort for Women's History Month. It was a great way to close out Women's History Month. Ms. Melvin, you said we don't care about our residents. That's absolutely not true. So I just want to, I don't want to get into a back and forth, but I don't want that to just go without me addressing it. We absolutely care. There's some things we can't share, as you know. We've had some conversations, but I'll stop with that. Just a few reminders of some things that's coming up. We have the Small Business Forum tomorrow at the library. It's from 9 to 11. It's at the West Hampton Library, the county library in West Hampton. So if you are interested or know anyone who would like some more information, it's being hosted by myself and a few other freeholders will be there. I will be there just for a short time in the morning, but please come out and get some information. Women's Advisory Council, we're still accepting nominations for the categories. The nominations close on April 1st. That's Monday, April 1st. So if you know of someone that you would like to nominate, I believe the categories are mentorship, law, education, community service, diversity and inclusion, corporate leadership, and volunteering. Those are the 7 categories. So if you know of anybody that you would like to nominate, please get them nominated by Monday, April 1st. I will be having a meet and greet on this Saturday in Evesham. So if you'd like to come and learn about some more information that the county offers and to have whatever questions you may have, that's this Saturday from 1 to 3. I think that's it.
Yes. Your partner for the forum, Mayor Beasy, is in the back.
Yes, Mayor Beasy. Thank you. Hello. Hi. Mayor Beasy will also be there. Thank you so much. Councilwoman Cooper is back there, Deputy Mayor of Evesham. So thank you guys for joining. But yes, please plan to attend if you can. It's this Saturday from 1 to 3 at the Evesham Municipal Building. Thank you all for coming and continuing to hold us accountable. Thank you.
Freeholder O'Connor?
Yes, thank you, Freeholder Director. I'd also like to add my congratulations to all the women honorees this evening. I don't know, I can't see her, but especially my friend Reba Foster. And I think all the women on the farm left. I just wanted to say something. Having lived in this county for 60 years, I saw a lot of the farms as development has taken place in Burlington County disappear. And farm stands that I used to go, and as we all know, as Jersey boys and Jersey girls, we raised the best corn, tomatoes, and peaches anywhere in the country. And these people face challenging times because as development occurs around their farms, the new people come in and they don't appreciate the smells and maybe the tractors and some of the other things, but it still says Garden State on our license plates, and it's our state motto. And I really appreciate what those people are doing to try and keep the garden in the Garden State. I see Dr. Holly Funkhauser in the back, and I'd like to thank her for meeting with me and giving me an overview of the department. As the liaison to the health department, I found it very helpful. And along with her assistant, Monique Davis, I just wanted to say thanks and that I appreciate it. And then finally, I'm glad you're here, Dawn. I misplaced your card. I wanted to let you know that I was going to mention you tonight. Yesterday, I got the pleasure of meeting Caius Jameson, who is a 140-pound plus Bernese mountain dog. It looks like a Shetland pony. And what Dawn does, and Caius, they volunteered their time yesterday at the Burlington County Library. And they have a program where children come in and read to the dog. And unlike humans who, we place our judgments on kids and we correct them when they may not say the words right, Caius just lays there and he does what a dog does, and that's provide unconditional love. And then the reward for the children is after they read the book, they get to pet the dog. So it's a win-win. It's a win for the kids, and it's certainly a win for Caius. But she not only does it at the library, she's taken the dog into the schools, and she's doing this for a reason to highlight Caius is a therapy dog. And I got to say, it was therapeutic for this freeholder yesterday. It was an enjoyable hour and a half out of my time. And Dawn, you need to know one thing. When I tell you I'm going to do something, I'll do it. If I can't be there, I'll let you know, and because things come up. Flat tires, people get sick. But, and as she said, I don't know if you heard her, Caius is celebrating a birthday on April 5th at the Burlington County Library, and I intend to be there come hell or high water. But she also mentioned to me the other thing she wanted to highlight was not just her and Caius's volunteer activities, but the fact that so many people in our county, we have a volunteer organization in Burlington County, and there's a need. You hear us talk about taxes, and if we had to fund all these things, if you think your taxes are high now, they'd be even higher. So there's people that are stepping up and giving of their time. We salute those people. We really appreciate what it is that they do. And I just want to say, if I had met you before yesterday, I would have given your name to my colleague here, because we would have honored you tonight too for Women's History Month. And that's all my remarks today.
I echo the comments of recognition for the women this month. There's so many other women out there that contribute every day, and it's so hard to recognize everybody. So just want to say thank you, women, very much. Also, once again, I want to thank our directors that show up. You know that I appreciate everything you do. So does the board. You're the engine that runs, along with your staff. And I do want to point out we have a new director who. This is his first meeting, Mr. Gubby. You mind standing up? He is the new director of our. Yes, and also I think Dr. Conway. Dr. Conway, our new director of Department of Health. I had the opportunity today to have breakfast with the governor at the South Jersey Chamber of Commerce. It was very enlightening to hear his comments on, what they want to work toward with economic development. As you're aware, a lot of the times in the campaign trail, one of the important things that I would certainly want to achieve, and I know everybody else does, we have to work very hard at getting business ratables into the state and especially into the county. The lending event that Freeholder Hobson spoke about is going to be very good. We've got a tremendous response to that. It's being put on an affiliation with the Economic Development Committee from Burlington Bridge Authority. And anybody out there, even though it's a little bit late, if you know an entrepreneur, if you know anybody that's looking to start up a business, this is one of those great opportunities to meet with the lenders and find out how you can partake in funds. Starting next month, I'm going to have an initiative. I'm going to call it the Mayor Roundtable, and I'm going to be reaching out to the 40 towns and the 40 mayors. We're going to invite them in, hopefully, and it's going to be an opportunity for me and the rest of the board to hear some of the concerns of people that don't normally get an opportunity to make it here and do it in front of us. So for those mayors and deputy mayors that want an ear, and we certainly want input from everybody. I hope that it'll get out there and people will attend and come in and meet with us. Once again, thank you all for coming. We appreciate the input. Once again, I have to agree with Freeholder Hobson. One incident that occurs doesn't mean we don't care. We truly care about our residents. I don't know anybody that would go out and get elected to this position if they didn't care for people. So, with that being said, have a nice evening, safe drive home. It's time to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?